Okay, hello everybody, Carolyn here, and today I'm going to be talking about the fan signs that I did for Monsta X's Shape of Love era. If you don't know, I did 2 fan signs with them. So it's been a long time since I've done like a fan sign video, but I thought that I would do one just because this era I did 2 fan signs, and so it was a little different than the past eras. In the past, I've only ever done like 1 per era. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through, kind of talk about each one, and then I'll show you the clips and I'll show you my signed albums since I do have both of my signed albums here. So I will show you those, and also the Monsta X fan sign winner benefit is a signed photo card, so I'll show you my signed photo cards as well. Yes, if you are not aware of the video call thing, basically fan signs, there's really a couple of ways to do like video call fan signs. The major way is through like purchase periods, buying albums during a comeback. Also apps like Universe, which is kind of like, it's kind of like Weverse, kind of, sort of, slash, it's like Weverse and Bubble together is what Universe is. So Universe will also do calls sometimes, but I won't be talking about that in this video. That is unimportant information. But basically, to enter a fan sign, you need to buy albums during the comeback from a store that is holding a fan sign. There's a couple ways you know which stores are holding fan signs. Following the stores themselves on Twitter especially is the best place kind of figure out like who's offering a fan sign. Usually when an album goes up for pre-order, you will know what the pre-order fan signs are because those will get announced like the same time. Also following your group's official account. So for Monsta X, like following the official Monsta X account on Twitter is a great way to know about fan signs because they'll always like retweet it, they'll share it on like Fan Cafe, or if your group has Weverse, they'll share it on like the Weverse board. So that's a good way to know about fan signs. As for how many albums you need, it depends on, are you doing a full group fan sign? Are you doing a single member fan sign? What's the store? How foreigner friendly is it? How far in the era are we? Is it pre-order? Is it like the end of the era? There are so many factors into how many albums you need. Don't ask me that question. It's literally been different for me every time I've entered. So I entered 2. One of them was by accident, kind of, sort of. So my big goal for this era was to talk to Kihyun and Jooheon, which I did, talk to both of them. Kihyun is my bias in Monsta X if you don't know. And Jooheon, I have just been wanting to talk to him so bad the past couple of eras. Since he started producing title tracks, I just wanted to like tell him how proud I am of him and like, you know, tell him to his face like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. You're doing such a great job. So it's something I've been wanting to do since Gambler era, pretty much. But back during Gambler era, I still wasn't like super comfortable with fan signs. So yeah. So my main goal was to open for Kihyun. So I opened for Kihyun's MMT because MMT is a very foreigner-friendly site. If you've watched any of my other videos, I normally apply for MMT because it is the safest bet as a foreigner to get into the fan sign. So I opened for MMT and I wasn't planning on holding a K-Town for You Go because there was a K-Town for You fan sign as well. Because I was like, I don't know, I just didn't want to really. And so I wanted like a super big MMT group order. I was planning on like buying a bunch of albums myself and then like obviously whatever my group order joiners wanted, but I was thinking about buying like on top of that because last era I tried for Kihyun multiple times and didn't get in a single time. So this era I was like, I am going to get in and talk to Kihyun again. And then later in the era, I'll do like a small Jooheon group order and I'll try to get into a Jooheon call later. But my main priority is to get into Kihyun's call. So that's going to be my focus for pre-order because pre-order is usually a little more difficult than later in the era. Mostly because the purchase period for these albums are just longer. So there's more time and people are trying to buy their albums anyways. So there's just more albums in the mix. Anyways, I had a couple people reach out to me and they were like, I want to join your MMT Go. However, I also want to get K-Town Pobs. Would you be willing to open a K-Town Go so that I could just get all of my like pre-order Pobs from the same person? And I had so many people reach out to me about that I was like, sure, I'll open a small like K-Town member claim. I was like, I'll buy like 25 albums, do member claims, because K-Town's really good about sending like even amounts of members like MMT is. So I was like, we'll guarantee your members. And then I had a couple people message me like, I want OG5 sets, like, will you do that? Like, so I just ended up opening it as a group order. I was like, whatever, I'll just open it as a group order. It doesn't really matter. I really want to encourage people to join my MMT group order. So thank you to anyone who joined both my group orders, by the way. So I opened for MMT, and I will tell you my numbers for these albums just because this era is over. It was different than last era. It's gonna be different from next era. So I don't feel like I can't tell you my numbers like they're a big secret, because they're not. So anyways, I ended up with about 65 albums for K-Town For You, which was way more than what I was expecting. I barely promoted my K-Town For You group order. It was mostly just like when you're filling out the MMT thing, I mentioned like, if you want K-Town albums, like you can also join my K-Town group order. I'll send everything together. I'll do combined shipping for everything. So you only have to pay one shipping fee. A lot of people joined both MMT and K-Town. I had very few people just join K-Town, but I had a lot of people just join MMT. So not everyone was super interested in K-Town, but I barely promoted it. Got about 65 albums, which was amazing. So thank you so much. And when I went to go buy them, I was like, I feel like this is enough albums that I should try to apply for someone. Like, like I really should just try to apply for someone. And I was like, I really wanted to talk to Jooheon this era. Kihyun is a hard member to get into. So I was like, realistically, I don't think I have enough albums to get into a Kihyun fan sign. That's just the way like it is. And I was trying to be realistic about it. I was like, I don't want to enter for Kihyun because I don't think I'm going to get in for him. So I was like, I really want to enter for a different member. And I love talking to all the members. I've talked to Minhyuk before, and I tried to talk to Changyun last era, did not work, didn't get in. Very sad. We're still sad about that Apple Music fan sign, forever. And I was like, you know what? I really want to talk to Jooheon. I think this might be a good amount of albums to get into a Jooheon call. Let me go ahead and try. Like, let me just try. And if not, like, I planned on opening a Jooheon go later in the era. We'll just like try again later. Because again, my K-Town Go was never meant to be like, I'm applying for a fan sign. But since I had all the albums, I was like, I should apply. Like, I should apply. I should at least try. And I had a couple friends be like, you never know. Like, you can apply with like a couple albums. People have won fan signs with like 3 or 4 albums before. So like, you never know. I was like, okay, I'm going to try for Jooheon. I'm going to try to get into a Jooheon call. So I applied. And you know how K-Town For You has that chart and it'll tell you like how many albums have been sold on their website? So the day after the fan sign ended, Monsta X's numbers rose by like 7,000 albums. And I was like, there's no way, because everyone's like fan sign group orders ended. So everyone bought their fan sign group order albums. The POBs weren't ending. The POBs don't end until pre-orders end, but K-Town always finishes before pre-orders end. I was like, there were like 8,000 albums added. There's no way I got in with 65. So I like completely gave up hope at that point. I was like, there's no way. I don't think I got in with 65 albums for Jooheon, but you know what? We gave it a try. Whatever. So results came out. I don't remember what the day was, but it was at 2 a.m. my time. And I was up editing, actually. I was editing a video in bed. I was just sitting there, drinking some tea, as I do in my bed at night. It's part of my nighttime ritual. If you don't know, I drink some like lavender chamomile tea, and I sit in bed and I edit every night, with like my lights, like my string lights on and everything. And like, I'll usually have my shelf lights on as well. It's very calming. I really like it. It's a good nighttime ritual. Anyways, I was working on editing a video, and I got an email from like K-Town For You event, and I was like, what? So I ended up getting in to the Jooheon fan sign, and I was so excited. Like, I truly, when I saw the numbers jump, like I had been talking to friends hours before who were like, oh my gosh, like fan sign results are tonight. And I was like, yeah, I don't think I got in. Like, I don't think I'm gonna get in for Jooheon. Whatever, like I gave it a shot. I'll give it another shot later for a different store. I'll open another group order, and I'll try him for something else. Like maybe the second round of Soundwave, I'll try for Jooheon or something. But I got in and it was very exciting. I literally texted my friends and I tweeted and I was like, oh my, I literally freaked out so much. And I was like, all of the like relaxed feelings I was feeling from like doing my little nighttime ritual, like drinking my tea, sitting in bed, like already did my skincare, everything's great, we're having a great time. Just like, I was like, oh my God, I'm legit talking to Jooheon. And it was so exciting. I was so excited about it. I didn't even think about filming anything for it or doing a clip or anything for it. But yeah, I was super, super excited. So that got announced and then everybody got COVID. Everyone except Jooheon got COVID, but the comeback got pushed. So everyone got COVID and then later Jooheon got COVID. So everything got pushed. So like, I think it was like a couple days later, it was whenever the MMT like thing was ending. And so I like finished purchasing MMT albums and I was like, oh my gosh, like we're done purchasing Fansign albums for the era. Like hopefully I get into Kihyun. Like I really, really want to get into a Kihyun call. So yes, definitely like excited about that. And then they literally hours after I closed my group order, MMT extended the purchase period an additional 2 weeks. So it was a full month of a purchase period for a Fansign, which is insane. Like it's that, I don't know, like if you don't do group orders or you don't like follow Fansigns, MMT is like extremely painfully long. Like MMT will, for Monsta X, will be like 2 weeks. It'll be like 2 or 3 weeks of purchase period. A month is like unheard of. Usually during the era, like Fansign purchase periods will be like 3 or 4 days. Like they're super short during the era. Just pre-orders tend to be a little longer. I think K-Town was like a week and a half or something. That's still pretty long. So MMT had a month purchase period and I also was ready to give up. I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get into Kihyun. Like I was feeling pretty confident about my number. I think my number at the time was like 160. Which is, I felt pretty comfortable with. I was like, that's probably a good number for Kihyun. I got into Kihyun for Gambler era with 140 something and it was like 160 something. And I was like, that's probably a pretty good like number. Like I'm probably safe with 30 winners. And I thought about like buying extra albums myself. And I actually think I was going to buy like an extra box of 20 for myself and just like sell the photo cards or whatever, just to have like a few more albums under my name. But then they extended it and I ended up having, oh my gosh, I literally have my spreadsheet up. I can tell you 225 albums because I actually ended up with 223. And if you don't know, MMT, you can only buy in boxes of 20. So I wasn't going to put 3 albums in a box. So I did 5 just because then we would end up with like complete OT5 sets. So it would just give me like 2 extra photo cards to work with for sorting and stuff. Yeah, that. And then, so I applied with 225 and a couple of my friends who enter like Fansigns all the time, I was so nervous about it. I was like, a month purchase period. Like, I don't know what to expect. Also, like every single Monsta X GOM for this era was saying that it was their biggest, like their goes were bigger than they've ever been before. And like, this was 100% my largest Monsta X group order. 100% my largest one. I have a whole video coming on both my group orders and like sorting and all that stuff. So I won't go into that here, but yeah. So I ended up with 225 albums for Kihyun. And I honestly wasn't sure. The day of results for MMT was the same day as my K-Town Fansign with Jooheon. And the K-Town Fansign with Jooheon was at 7 a.m. Eastern time, and I had an organic chemistry exam at 9 a.m. Do you understand the amount of stress in my life? Because obviously, like, the Fansign got rescheduled. It was originally supposed to be a completely different day for both MMT and K-Town, but for K-Town, I sent them all my information, and then they, like, moved the like Fansign date, and it was 7 a.m. my time, like 2 hours before a very important exam. And Kihyun results, like MMT results, were at like 3 a.m. my time, and I was like, there's no way, like I have to get up at like 6 at the very latest to make myself look like a human being. I also need to study for my exam. It's just like, it was a big like transition day for like, we have to be K-pop Carolyn and then we have to be woman in STEM Carolyn, like literally 2 hours later. We have to get out of the fan sign and we have to go to school and work and like all day to go take an exam all day. It was pretty stressful. So I decided to skip out on staying up for results for Kihyun and I decided to just go to bed. I woke up the next morning at like, I think I woke up at like 5:45 because I wanted to like have my coffee, like have time to make myself look presentable, make sure that I was up in time to do like add them as a friend on Kakao or whatever. And I looked at my phone, I looked at my email and like, I have a new phone now, but I had my old phone still at the time. And my old phone had this thing where it like wouldn't load all my emails sometimes. So I did not see an MMT email when I woke up and I was like, I didn't get into Kihyun. And like, obviously I was thrilled that I was going to be talking to Jooheon in like an hour and a half, but obviously like I really, really wanted to talk to Kihyun as well. I really wanted to talk to both of them this era. So I was feeling super discouraged and was laying in bed. I kind of checked my junk mail because sometimes things will appear in my junk mail, and it was in my junk mail, which is literally what happened the last time I won for Kihyun. Was for some reason it went to my junk mail, which like I apply for Wano's MMT every single era except for Love Sin 2 I didn't, but for every single era besides that I've applied to his MMT, and I've never gotten his fan sign results in my spam box. But for some reason, both times I've won for Kihyun, it's been in my junk mail. I have no idea why. So it was in my junk mail. So obviously I like woke up and I freaked out. Like I was still laying in bed, like snoozing my alarm because I was like, I have to get up and talk to Jooheon. But like, I just want to lay here for 5 more minutes. I didn't sleep very well because I kept thinking I was getting the time zone conversion wrong. I was convinced that it was wrong. I was like, there's absolutely no way. Like, I think I woke up at 4 a.m. at one point and just like checked Twitter and they had like just arrived to start the in-person fan sign because there was an in-person one and then like the online one was after. So yeah, I was convinced that I was gonna miss the fan sign. So I didn't sleep super well. So I was like really out of it, but obviously like freaked out. And so that was really, really exciting to wake up to that news. And then I talked to Jooheon. So when I was preparing to talk to Jooheon, he's someone I've never talked to before, so I wasn't quite sure what to expect. Kihyun I have talked to before, so I kind of have an idea of like what his energy is like and like what to expect. Same with Wano. When I talk to Wano, I kind of know like what to expect for him. But Jooheon, I wasn't really sure how chatty he was gonna be or how like back and forth our conversation was gonna be, or if it was gonna be just me talking at him and him being like, oh, thank you, like that's so nice. So I prepared more than I probably needed. I don't think I have my actual plan anymore, but usually I will go and anyways, I'll post my like Kihyun one. Maybe I'll blur out anything I didn't actually talk about just because some of the things were like more personal things and I just never ended up like making it like a personal call for Kihyun. But for Jooheon, I wrote like probably 5 or 6 bullet points of just things that popped into my head. I knew like the number one thing I wanted to do was like make sure he knew how much everybody loved his how much I love him producing like the title tracks for Monsta X. I'll go ahead and play my call right now and then I'll kind of talk about it afterwards. Hi. Is that the Carolyn? Yes. Hello. Is that the best? Nice to meet you too. You're the best producer, Jooheon, right? Jooheon 100 best producer. You. Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. Nice to meet you. You look so cute today. Thank you so much. Where are you from? I live in the United States. United States where? North Carolina. It's like near Atlanta, kinda. So like, I know. You know, yeah. Yeah. So I've been a Monbebe since No Mercy. And Monsta X always have such great music, but your title tracks, Gambler, Rush Hour, Love, they just like, the members just shine differently. Like, it's so perfect. It's very different. It is. So I hope in the future you also do the title tracks. Do you plan to keep doing title tracks for everyone? Yay! Yay! I love it.
These days, I want to studying for English.
Oh, your English is so good.
Really?
It's really good. Really good.
So I want to talking for our home business in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to speaking English all the like bands.
Yeah. Well, you're doing a good job. You're doing a really good job.
Really?
Yeah. Do you have plans for another solo album this year? I know Monsta X are so busy, but
I don't think so about solo album, but I hope so. I hope so.
Okay. I'll wait for it.
Yeah. I'm planning on that.
You plan it? Okay, cool. Cool.
The time is over. We have to say goodbye right now.
Okay, well, thank you. I'll see you on tour. See you at the tour.
Thank you so much. I love you.
I love you too. See you later. Bye. So yeah, so as you can see, I originally had the idea of like him answering the call and me first being like, oh my gosh, like, are you Jooheon? Like, are you the best producer, Jooheon 100? And he like spoke too fast. And so I didn't get to say that right away, which kind of threw me off from the beginning. Again, I had like 3 hours of sleep in me. And so it kind of threw me off a little bit. So you hear me like kind of stumble over my words a little bit in the beginning, just because I was like, I really wanted to say this thing. Like I really thought it would be so cute and that he would enjoy it. And he like did. He had a really good reaction for it. So that was really nice. And then we talked about how he asked me where I was from. And I was like, North Carolina or United States. And he was like, where? And I was like, North Carolina. And he was like, oh my gosh, like, I know where that is. And I was like, no, you don't. But anyways, so I told him like that him producing the music for Monsta X is just like so perfect. I was like, I've been in Monbebe for so long and like, I just feel like your title tracks are so perfect. And I think he got the gist of what I was saying, but his response being like, yeah, it was kind of different, isn't it? I was just kind of like, I mean, I didn't mean it in a bad way. Like, I just meant it like it's perfect. Like, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it fully to a fluent English speaker. Like, my point with that was like, I've been collecting them since 2015. I've loved their music since 2015. Have there been B-sides and title tracks along the way that I've been like, about? Like, definitely. But overall, 98% of the time, I love everything they release. I love all their music. And so it wasn't me saying like Jooheon's music is better than the previous music or that it's worse than the previous music. My point with that really was like the music Jooheon produces for Monsta X is made for Monsta X and Monsta X alone. Nobody made a song for like any K-pop group and then Monsta X kind of like made it their own, you know? Like this song was made for Monsta X. And so you can see, like I've noticed it from Gambler era on, you can see how each part that's given to each member was specifically designed for that member. Like it was specifically created with that member in mind, like that individual person. It was created with Hyungwon in mind. It was created with Kihyun in mind. And I feel like a lot of the times in K-pop, you don't necessarily get songs like that from groups who don't produce their own music. Not that there's anything wrong with having music from like somebody else. Like I've always been a big proponent of like, it's super cool to produce your own music, but if you get your music from a company, that's also cool. Like if the song's good, like it's fine. But my point was like, it just kind of brought Monsta X to a whole different level when Jooheon started producing music for them. And I really wanted to get that point across. And I don't know if I completely did, but he understood the best producer thing. So I think he understood to an extent of like what I was trying to say. We spoke completely in English the entire time, as you saw. Yeah, he was talking about how he wants to improve his English after we had spent like a minute and a half talking in a completely English conversation. And I was like, Jooheon, your English is so good though. Overall, he was very comfortable to talk to. He was very, very sweet. And I I love talking to Jooheon. Like, I loved that Jooheon call so much. I asked him about a solo album. He said he was thinking about it, but there were no plans. But now that he's released Voices for tour, I really want like a studio version of Voices. I haven't even heard the song in person or at all yet. I've been saving myself for tour, but probably by the time you see this video, I might have heard Voices in person already. Depending on when I post this, I think I'm gonna post it next week. Yeah, I really want a studio version of that, but he didn't seem like there was any sort of thing coming for that. And I did ask him if he can like plan to continue producing Monsta X title tracks in the future, and he said yes, so that's very exciting. And then I think that was the gist of it. I actually haven't watched that call in a while. I should have watched it before I started this, but but yeah, that was pretty much the gist of it. And yeah, I'm just really happy that I was able to talk to him and like hype him up a little bit. And I will say, like right before the Jooheon call, like he was talking to someone in Korean and I could hear Changyun talking to someone in English. So they like called me on a different phone, and then Jooheon was finishing up on like a second phone or whatever. And I could hear like Jooheon talking to a K Monbebe, I assume, in Korean, and Changyun talking to an international Monbebe in English. And I was like, these boys are so fluent in both languages. Like the way that Jooheon switched from Korean to English to talk to me was like really amazing, honestly. Like I don't think, like Changyun mentioned it during tour, but I was like, I really don't think we acknowledge how incredible everyone's English is. I posted some things on Twitter. I finished like earlier than I thought. So I ended up like posting some things on Twitter before I went to take my exam. The exam didn't go great, but I'm not chalking that up to me talking to Jooheon. I'm just chalking it up to like, I just didn't understand that material very well. Hello, I don't know where you're gonna see this clip, but I knew that I wanted to film this. So I'm about to open my Jooheon album. K-Town For You sent it separately, and they actually like did a really good job with this fan sign. This is my first time doing a K-Town For You fan sign, and I have nothing but nice things to say about it. Definitely plan on trying for more K-Town fan signs in the future, but yeah, I figured we could open this album together. I don't know if this will ever make it to the internet, but I really wanted to film it just in case, like just so I had this footage. So let's go ahead and get into it. They actually packaged this really nicely. Like, look at all that bubble wrap. This was the only thing in here, obviously. They sent all of my other albums separately. And the thing with like K-Town For You, I've only ever done like My Music Taste and Sub K fan signs, so I can't really speak for any other stores besides those. But usually when you order albums, like, so usually like for My Music Taste, for example, if you order, say you get into a fan sign for 100 albums, one of those 100 albums is your fan sign album, which I think is fair because like when you go to an in-person fan sign in like Korea or something, you have to bring your own album, I've heard. So it makes sense that they would like use one of the albums you bought for the fan sign to like be your fan sign album. They didn't this time. So I got all 65 of my albums for my K-Town For You fan sign, and then they sent this album separately. So like that's another thing too, is My Music Taste and Sub K both like hold off until they have your album. So if you only bought like, you can only buy in boxes of like 20 most of the time. They'll hold one of your boxes. If you did like multiple boxes, they'll like include your fan sign album in one of the boxes that you already paid shipping for. But K-Town For You paid for the shipping for this. It was like $10 or something because they sent me like the shipment notification and it said how much shipping was. So that was very interesting. The whole experience was like very different for me, obviously, because I've never done a fan sign through the store before. But yes, so this is my Jooheon signed album. I also should have a signed photo card in here. I'm so excited. I've never gotten a signed photo card before. And the fact that I'm getting two this era is just like so exciting. Signed photo cards have never been something that I've like gone out of my way to look for to buy, just because I feel like for Monsta X there aren't really that many. Or there weren't until like No Limit era, where they decided they were going to start signing photo cards as like the winner benefit instead of giving you a separate photo card. I am excited. So, oh, he wrote so big. Oh my gosh. Wait, is my full name there? Oh, he did write my full name. Oh no, he did write my full name. No, that's so sad. I've never had to like blur my name or anything for any reason. He's so cute. All right, I don't know how to. This is the signature, which is really cute. Jooheon. Oh my gosh. So there's another heart up here, like next to my last name, and then there's a heart next to his name. So cute, Jooheon. Oh, there it is. Okay. So cute. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, not the ink on the back of it. From all the albums being stacked together, not the ink on the back of the album. That's to be expected though. We're not like upset about that, but we did it. Yay. We did it. That's so like, it is kind of sad though that like they'll do your last name and they don't ask you if you want your last name there or not. Cause like I get that like some people don't care. And like, I don't think if I didn't show my collection on the internet, I would care either. But yeah, this is the signed photo card. This is so cute, honey. Oh my God, I'm like afraid to touch it. This is so cute. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I got a signed photo card. This is so cool. This is like the coolest thing ever. Yes, also Honey gave me the everything version, so that's fun. Not that it really matters because he didn't sign like on the cover, he signed on the slip cover. Should we see what my other inclusions are? Kihyun is always watching. We have Kihyun's poster, the like 1000th heart sticker. Yep. Jooheon's heart card, which is so cute. For the other sticker, we also have Jooheon. Oh my gosh, look at all these Jooheon inclusions in the Jooheon album. And then we have Changyun's Polaroid. Very nice, very nice. The solo member card, ooh, is Hyungwon. That's fun. I like this photo of Hyungwon a lot. I don't think I technically have marked that I like have this card yet, so it came in my Fansign album, so I'm gonna keep it. And then the unit card is Changyun and Hyungwon, which is really cute. I was really hoping to pull Jooheon, not gonna lie, but that's okay. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end up like displaying my signed photo card instead of putting it in my binder. I thought about putting it in my binder and I've seen people put it in their binders and like I'm sure it'd be fine, but I kind of want to display it the same way I display my like Wano Polaroid, which I don't have anything. But also I saw this really cute thing the other day where somebody on TikTok was trying to get like a frame for a special photo card. In that video they were trying to get a photo card. I don't remember what the group was, like what they were shopping for, but basically they were like, oh, this is gonna be too big for this photo card, but like a Monster X photo card would fit really nice in here. And I was like, I should get cute frames to display my signed photo cards from Jooheon and Kihyun. Except Kihyun is gonna be a normal album card size, but Jooheon's was K-Town, was cute. So yeah, that is everything. Sorry for this makeshift thing, but oh my gosh, I love him so much. It was such a good experience. I don't know if this is like a video where you're seeing the call or something, but if you just saw my call, he's the sweetest. I literally love him so much, and I'm super happy to have this album. And yeah, I'm really happy that it arrived before MX's anniversary. My Kihyun one has not arrived yet, but that's okay. I wasn't expecting it to arrive yet. I'm not expecting it to arrive for probably a couple more weeks. Yeah, that's it for this little clip, wherever this ended up. Collective haul, a video about my fan signs. I don't know. Hope you enjoyed. Bye. I will say it was super odd that I like hung up with Jooheon and I knew I had another fan sign coming like the week after. So I think it was like 5 or 6 days later, because they had FanCon first, like during the weekend, in between me talking to like Jooheon and Kihyun. This happened last time I talked to him too. I wrote some things down, but I honestly didn't really think about it too much until the day of. Jooheon I wrote like the night before just because I was a little nervous about his call, but Kihyun, I feel like last time I wrote things down and I really didn't end up using my like bullet points at all because the conversation just like flowed so well. Like he was just so good at keeping the conversation going and like bringing up topics to talk about and like things to talk about. Yeah, so the day of the Kihyun one, I think it was noon KST. So it was like, or maybe it was like 1 p.m. KST or something. It was early for them, or 11 a.m. KST. It was something. It was early for them. It was like midday. My one with Jooheon was like 8 p.m. his time. But Kihyun was like midday, which was pretty nice because those 3 a.m. fan signs kill me. So the fact that it was like, I think it was midnight when I was talking to Kihyun, which as you saw from earlier in this video, I was up at 2 a.m. editing a video. Like I'm usually up pretty late. Yeah, so I went through my whole day. Wasn't super nervous for Kihyun. I like really wasn't nervous until like an hour before. The only thing that made me nervous is that, so when I got my Jooheon one, they told me I was like number 10, I think I was for Jooheon. For Kihyun, they messaged me and I was number 1. And I was like, this is the second fan sign of the era. This is the first fan sign after FanCon, and I'm the first person Kihyun is talking to. So that made me nervous. That made me nervous more than anything else. But it also kind of made me feel like good because I knew exactly when I was going. And it's so funny because I've always been like, oh my gosh, I would love to go first. Like I would love to go first because I hate waiting. Like once the event has started, I hate that anticipation of waiting or whatever. And I was like, if I ever go first, like obviously I'm automatically gonna know like when I'm gonna go because I'm gonna go when it starts. So yeah, I definitely was more nervous for that, like being the first call than like talking to Kihyun himself. Anyways, so for Kihyun, I do have my notes here still. And let me see what I actually ended up saying to him from this. Yeah, so it looks like for Kihyun, I ended up using the majority of the points here. I originally had this whole like speech for him because Monsta X's anniversary was coming up during the last day of FanCon. Like everybody got really emotional and I got super emotional watching that as well. And so I had this whole like emotional thing prepared for Kihyun. And then after I saw I was first, I was like, you know what? I really don't want to start off his fan sign like this. I really don't want to be like, bring this like heavy topic into his first call. Like I don't want to do that to him. And I would rather just have like a lighthearted conversation with him and just like, you know, make him feel good, whatever. Hey, Kihyun, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
I can see another me behind you.
Yeah. I have all the Monsta X albums.
Oh, wow.
So many, including the.
You can my album, solo album.
Yeah, I have your solo album too. It's on this side, I think, over there. Of course. I saw the online FanCon this weekend. You guys did so good. You did so good.
What was the best part of the concert?
Best part of the concert.
Yeah.
Burning Up. When you sang Burning Up. So good. It's literally so good. It's so good. So is the FanCon like set list gonna be similar for World Tour? You don't. I know you can't tell me everything, but
I can't tell you the whole thing, but it's different.
It's different. Different. Okay. Cool.
Because it was fan concert.
Yeah.
The concert, the tour. So.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Also, your vocals in this album, like every time Monsta X released a new album, I'm like, how does Kihyun keep getting better? Every single time. How do you do that? How do you do that?
I can't satisfy
You
my
can't.
vocal in this album.
Which?
I'm not lying. It's true.
Yeah. Which song do you feel the best about? Like your parts in which song? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I have to go, Caroline.
Sorry. Burning Up? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Bye. Hi, I love you. See you later. So anyways, the first thing that happens during my call is that he calls me Caroline, which I was like, okay. Because people call me Caroline all the time, and that's not my name. It is not my name. It's happened since I was like a baby, and my parents almost called me Caroline, and then they decided to call me Carolyn instead. but everybody calls me Caroline. You can look through my comments. People call me Caroline. My friends call me Caroline as a joke sometimes, so I think that's where some people get it from. Kihyun looked at my name and called me Caroline, and I was so sad about it. I was really, really sad about it. It's not my name, but I also didn't correct him because I honestly don't correct people a lot of the time because I just get it so often. I just don't bother anymore most of the time. And also, like, we only had 2 minutes. I wasn't gonna spend 30 seconds explaining to him that that wasn't my name, but whatever. Anyways, so I started talking about FanCon because I was like, this is an easy way to like start a conversation because we just had FanCon. Like, they had FanCon and now they're here. Like, they really didn't have anything in between. They had like a rest day in between. And so the MMT call was like their first like major schedule of the era, pretty much, of like the Shape of Love era, besides like all the universe stuff they did, the showcase stuff they did. So I was like, oh my gosh, you did like amazing during FanCon. And he asked me what my favorite song was, which I was like, Kihyun might ask me like what my favorite stage was, so I need to think about it. So I was thinking about it while I was waiting for this like call to start. And I was like, okay, Kihyun's gonna ask me what my favorite stage was. Let me like think of my answer. So I have an answer. And so he asked me, he was like, what was the best part? And I completely blanked on Burning Up. I spent like a good 10 seconds trying to remember the name of that song. I don't know why I was so frazzled because I literally predicted he was gonna ask me that. So I don't know why I was so frazzled about it. And you could tell he kind of like knew that there was only 2 minutes, and so he was like, oh my gosh, if she doesn't know off the top of her head, like, you know. And so when I finally said Burning Up, you can see him quickly go in to be like, oh my god, Burning Up, like that's so cool, like to not like take up too much of my like the time that if I had something to say to him. So I was just like, I feel so bad because I literally like prepared for him to ask me this, and then I messed up. Also didn't have the heart to tell him I was actually asleep during Burning Up because I missed the first part of FanCon because my alarm didn't go off, but I watched the stage later and it was amazing still. But I missed like the first 3 or 4 songs because my alarm just didn't go off because I took a nap in between the sound check and the actual FanCon. So we talked about that, and then he mentioned my albums, which if you've ever seen me talk to Kihyun before, like from my other ones, he's like, oh my gosh, you have so many albums. Like, I literally have another clip from Gambler Era of him being like, you have so many albums, and me being like, this is Monsta X's discography. Like, this is what your discography looks like, all like next to each other, which I think he finds super fascinating because I don't think the boys really realize like how much music they have. So it's pretty cool. Like, this is what my shelves looked like during my Kihyun call. I really haven't changed them much since my Kihyun call. But yeah, so I had like all these albums behind me, and so he was talking about it, and he was like, I was like, oh yeah, I have all the albums. And I wanted to be like, I also have your new album, Shape of Love. Like, that's why there's this whole Shape of Love display, because I was like, if Kihyun mentions my albums, I can be like, oh my gosh, yeah, like I already have the album, like it's so good, like we can talk about the album a little bit. But he was like, do you have my album? Do you have the Voyager album? And so I wasn't really prepared for that question either. I was like, yeah, I have the Voyager album, and I'm trying to like remember like which side it's on. So I'm like, it's over like by the other Shape of Love albums, but then I also have his jewel case up here because I don't have his version of The Dreaming yet because my friend has it, but she was gonna bring it next week, or she's gonna bring it in like 2 days to tour. So I didn't have that. For Jooheon, I had Jooheon's version, but so I have like The Dreaming there. And then I also have his kit like over here. So I'm doing this because I'm like, oh my gosh, where is Kihyun's album? Is it over here? So that was like that part. That's what I'm doing there, is I'm trying to be like, oh my gosh, what side is Kihyun's album on? I was like, I have Kihyun's album. I have your album, Kihyun, like I promise, like absolutely have it. I can't even imagine like doing a fan sign with Kihyun and him asking me that and me being like, no, I don't have your album. Like, I just buy Monsta X albums. He'd be like, what are you doing here? Like, why are we talking right now? But yeah, so he was super appreciative. Like, I didn't really notice him do that like little excited dance and like say thank you. Like, I saw him say thank you so much, but I think I was still like trying to turn around and make sure he could see when he did that little dance. So I saw it afterwards, and he was so cute. And then I think next I talked about like his vocals on the album, which is something I wrote down I know Kihyun knows he's a good vocalist, but I also feel like he's really hard on himself sometimes with his vocals, and so I wanted him to know that like his vocals in this album were amazing. Literally from debut to now, like you get better every single time. Like, how do you do that? And then you can see him laugh and he's like, I mean, I'm never completely satisfied. And I was like, well, what's your favorite, like, what are you most satisfied with this album? Like, what's the song that you're most satisfied with? And then the timer went off, but I didn't hear it. I heard it for Jooheon, but I didn't hear it for Kihyun. And I guess he didn't hear it either. It looks like a staff member like alerted him that time was up. So he goes, I have to go, Caroline, to which I'm like, oh my God, he called me Caroline again. Like literally hate it here. But yeah, so then I was like, oh my, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't even know, like, I had no idea. Like, I'm not trying to like break the rules or whatever. And like not hang up or whatever. So, yeah, then he like really tries to answer. He's like thinking super quick. And then he says burning up, which if you've seen the behind for burning up, like the recording for that song, which this like behind wasn't out at the time that I talked to Kihyun, you can see that Kihyun redid his parts like 10 times. So I was watching that behind and I was like, that's why Kihyun was most satisfied with burning up, because he literally recorded it like 15 times. And yeah, that was pretty much my Kihyun call. I always have like such a great time talking to Kihyun. I literally love talking to him so much. I think he's just super easy to talk to. His English is incredible. Like, he is so good at English and he's so good at keeping a conversation going as well. So yeah, he's just a sweetie too. Like, I literally love him. But yeah, so that was both of my calls. And yeah, so now I will insert my clip of me unboxing my Kihyun album. So let's do that. Okay, so this is my Kihyun Fansign album. So yeah, the reason why this one's not in a box or anything is because the box that it came in looked like this. In a panicked state, I decided to just open it off camera just to make sure everything was okay, and thankfully everything was okay. So we're not sure how that happened, but yeah. So I have seen a little bit of it, but we're gonna look at it together right now. Let me slip it out this way just because my full name is on the front on a sticky note, but for MMT you do usually get to choose like just your first name, just your last name, or your first and last name, I think are the 3 options they give you. So obviously I chose just my first name, so that's what Kihyun signed to. Here is my signed album. So pretty. Kihyun signed to the Love version, which Jooheon signed to the Everything version. Oh, also it's a little dented down there. These albums are so delicate. Like, they are the most delicate flowers ever, I promise you. But let's see what my inclusions were. 2 members, one of them's Kihyun, I can see that. After sorting so many albums, like, I feel like normally for MMT they sign to version 1. But yeah, so let's see what my inclusions were. For the poster, looks like we pulled Jooheon's poster. Oh man, I had so many I needed Jooheon posters in my Fansign album. That's sad, but that's okay. Or I needed Jooheon posters for my group order. I ran out of them so fast. Looks like this is Kihyun. So cute. Can you imagine if he had signed the heart? Oh my God, that would have been really cute. Kihyun, why didn't you open the album and sign the heart real quick? And then the stickers looks like, oh no, I got the You're My Love one and then Hyungwon's sticker. Very cute. Polaroid was Hyungwon as well. Not a surprise, I've pulled about 1 billion of these. And then the unit card, ooh, please be Jooheon. It was Chagi Line, which I also pulled like 8,000 of them. So that is not really surprising. My solo member card was actually Kihyun. So that's really cool. I already have this card, but I think I pulled it in my unboxing album originally. So that's really cute. And then for my signed photo card, obviously he signed the MMT pub, which I was gonna say you've seen in this video, but that's a different video. I'm filming like 3 videos at the same time right now. Anyways, this is the pub, and so he signed it. So let me take it out so you don't see the My Music Taste thing. But I will be keeping it in here for right now, but this is the signed Kihyun photo card, and I absolutely love this card. This is one of my favorite pobs from him from this era. So I'm super happy to have a card of him in this outfit signed, and this is just like so insane because literally I tried so hard last era to get into a call with him, and I failed so many times, and it was so frustrating. Like, I think people look at my videos and think like, oh my gosh, she always gets into fan signs, but no, I have failed more times than I have succeeded, besties. Yes, but I'm super happy, especially for Kihyun. I have failed way more times than I have actually gotten to talk to Kihyun, so every time I get in to talk to him, it's like, oh my gosh, thank God. I did it. But yeah, so that is pretty much everything that came in my Kihyun Fansign album. I am going to keep him here. I actually am about to go out of town. I'm just filming this clip like super quick. But yeah, so I'm going to keep him in this safe and sound until I get back. And then I'm going to try to find like a frame or something for him and Honey. But yeah, that is my Fansign album. So those are my Fansign albums from this era. So yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my little Fansign video. Like I said, I haven't done one of these in a while. I don't think I've done one since I talked to Kihyun last during Gambler era. Posting your fan calls on the internet can be a very like fan calls can be a very like personal thing as well. Like a lot of people use fan calls to talk about like their feelings, and it's not always something you want on the internet. And sometimes people just don't want to post their fan calls on the internet. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video regardless. I'm very excited to see Monsta X in person. By the time you see this video, I've already seen them in person, and I like can't even imagine that right now. And I definitely want to try for more fan calls next era. I already want to do another Jooheon call. Like I want to do another Jooheon call so bad next era. So we might do Joo and Ki again next era. I think that would be really fun. But yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much if you're in my group orders, if you joined my group orders, if you retweeted my group orders, if you shared my group order. Like, I appreciate you so much. Like, this would not be possible without you, and I appreciate you for that so much. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.